How did Luca and I end up in a hotel room in Burlington, Vermont, instead of Barcelona? Keep watching.
We
drove. But there's a huge story behind it and why we're here right now.
Let's recap Miami since I didn't while I was there. So today's video is going to be a little bit all over the place. It's going to be part inserting clips from our trip. It's going to be part haul, part what happened, part what hotel we stayed at, and reviews. Basically, if you're interested in kind of like a Miami 2022 traveling with a kid video, this will be it for you. As you guys know, we were supposed to be in Barcelona and Mallorca. This was a trip that was like we're done with this like whole situation of no more traveling. It was supposed to be our like hurrah, back on the travel scene. Let's do this. We're going to Europe. We haven't been to Europe in 3 years. We need this. Well, the situation got a little bit messy. Luca's passport was expiring in 2.5 months, and with the passport situation that's going on in Montreal, when we came back from Florida, I'd called Passport Canada and I told them we are going to Spain in August or end of July, and I need a new passport for my daughter because I know there's some things about like if it's too close to expiration date, they won't let you on a plane. Passport Canada told me no one is respecting the 3-month rule. It's kind of like a thing right now. Everyone knows that our situation is a disaster. For those of you who don't know, Montreal in the spring and the summer basically could not issue passports. Like you'd go for like an emergency passport and they were like, yeah, it's gonna be 9 to 11 weeks. You would have to camp out overnight for like 3 days to be able to get that like 24-hour passport, which they weren't guaranteeing. It was a complete, I think it still is. I have a friend who actually was going to Ireland and her daughter's passport, she didn't get it on time, so she had to fly to Val d'Or to get her passport done within 24 hours because it was the closest, which is, by the way, it's like a 5-hour flight and like $600 to get there to get the passport to be able to go on her trip. So our passport situation is a complete shit show. And what happened when I called Passport Canada, they were like, yeah, don't worry about it. The whole world is aware of what's going on here. No one is respecting the 3-month rule. You're Canadian, you have nothing to worry about. You're traveling with a Canadian passport. So I took an appointment to redo Luca's passport for the fall, which is in a month. It's September 25th, the appointment. So Luca and I were all packed up, as you guys saw, in our carry-ons, by the way. I know a lot of you were like, you'll never be able to do it. If you saw the looks we were serving in Miami, both of us, by the way, carry-on packing only. We nailed it, we killed it. I'll insert a clip of what it looked like when we were leaving Miami. We nailed it. And also I had like an extra like 2 to 3 looks to spare that I didn't end up wearing. So carry-on is a possibility, even when we want to look cute. So anyways, long story short, we get to the airport to leave on our Air Canada flight, and Air Canada's like, no, you're not getting on the plane. I'm like, what do you mean we're not getting on the plane? They're like, Luca's passport is expiring in 2.5 months. It needs to be valid for 3 months. I'm like, well, Passport Canada said. They're like, well, I don't care what Passport Canada says. She's not getting on a plane to anywhere. So I turn around, I look at Luca, and she's bawling as she hears this. I'm like, okay, I have 2 options right now. I could like either lose it, start making like a whole thing and being like a Debbie Downer and just go home. The airport was telling me try and get an emergency passport, but this was Saturday and I wouldn't be able to get an emergency passport for I think the fastest they had told me was probably Wednesday or Thursday. I couldn't postpone the trip because I needed to be back at work by the 11th. I had a big meeting. So postponing the trip a few days was not an option, and neither was canceling and not going on vacation. As a Montrealer, I feel like everybody we know goes to Miami constantly. It's like a thing. Like I feel like, where are you going? Miami. Where are you going? Miami. Whenever somebody has like a 3 or 4 day weekend, where are you going? Miami. So Miami is a place that Luca knew about. A lot of her friends went this summer. So when I turned around and I told her, I said, Luca, how about we go to Miami instead of going to Spain? She looked at me, she had a big smile on her face. That is literally the motivation it took me to get going and get figuring this out. The girl at Air Canada tells me, we can't let you on a plane to anywhere, including the United States, which was total BS, by the way. I like read online, we totally could have gone to like the Dominican. Nobody had that. It's like not the whole world has that 3-month rule, but Air Canada was being like iffy about it. You can't travel anywhere unless it's by ground. So I was like, okay, whatever, we're going to the US. We live in Montreal, it's very close. So our options were drive to Plattsburgh, get on a flight from Plattsburgh, or drive to Burlington, which is a little bit further, but the flights are a lot cheaper. So that is what we did. We left the airport, grabbed our suitcases, and I said, Luca Bear, we're driving to Burlington. So without having a flight, without having a plan, we literally took an Uber back home. I refused to go back in the house. I didn't want Luca to feel defeated. So I was like, no, we're getting straight in the car, packed up, drove to Burlington. Crossed the border in Burlington, and I was like worried. I was like, are we gonna have a hard time crossing the border? No, the guy was like, it's totally fine. You're totally good with the US. So once we got into Burlington, we got into solution mode. I refused to get defeated by this, and I started looking for flights. So I got us on a flight the following day, which Luca got to have like a mini vacation in Burlington, which was actually really cute. We'd never been, and it's such a cute little town. So like we made like a big activity of it. Once the flights were booked, it was like 4 o'clock, I think by then, 4:30. I got us in a hotel. We stayed at the Best Western Whammer Jammer, something like that, whatever. I didn't care. All the hotels were booked. We got into this Best Western. Luca thought it was amazing because there was this like really cool pool that she loved. So went to the pool, had fun, made fun reservations at a restaurant. It was highly recommended to us. Piccolo, something like that. It was an Italian restaurant. I'll put all the clips that I have because I did a lot of clips while I'm talking. But we went to this really good Italian restaurant, and we got to sit at the bar because the restaurant was packed. Luca felt very grown up. Her signature cocktail of the trip was soda water with a splash of grenadine and a lemon. So she ordered herself that. That was the kickoff cocktail of the evening. So she ordered that. We had our pasta. We ate like pigs. We went for a walk because it's like a walking, like pedestrian place there. So we went for a walk. We walked around. We got like, I think we got croissant that night because Luca's favorite meal ever is croissant. So we got croissant. I got coffee. She got a hot chocolate. We sat on a bench and we just decided, what are we gonna plan for the next 10 days? Because I wanted to keep the trip the same time that we were going to be in Spain. And then we needed to let everybody know. So we were meeting friends in Barcelona. We were meeting friends in Mallorca. We had plans, we had dinner reservations. We were like having like a full blown like get together with people from around the world that I know that were coming to meet us there. So we needed to call and email everyone. We got on like, let's text people mode, and all of our friends, everybody was super understanding. They were like, oh my God, guys. And a lot of my friends who were actually in Barcelona were people that go to Miami a lot, and they were sending us recommendations. Okay, you should go to this restaurant. You should go to this restaurant. So we started kind of planning our trip while we were sitting on this like bench having our coffee in Burlington, and went back to the hotel room. Then we got back to the hotel, found this hotel called the Essex House, and it looked really nice online. So I was all excited. It was super affordable because it was last minute. So I was getting either or. I really wanted to stay in the Art Deco district, South Beach. I didn't want to be mid-Manhattan. I didn't want to be mid-Miami where like Fontainebleau is and all that. I didn't want to be on that side, which is where most of my friends usually go. So a lot of the recommendations I was getting was like mid-Miami, but I really wanted to be like more around like Nikki Beach, like around that area. The Art Deco cuteness, I just like everything that I personally wanted to do that I knew Luca would enjoy was more in that neighborhood. So the Essex House came in, and I was like, okay, this is super cute. It's super affordable. Let's book a room. So we booked a room, and the next day we woke up, we flew to Miami from Burlington, got in to the Essex House Hotel at like 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time our flight landed, it was very delayed. And the second I pulled up, I knew like, I'm like, no, my kid can't stay here. It was a party house. It's associated to the Clevelander, I think it's called the Clevelander, which is on Ocean Drive. And I was like, okay, no. And then like the guy at the front desk, I think it was like the owner or the manager or something. He's like, listen, he's like, I'll refund you right away. Cause I'd prepaid for the hotel. He's like, I'll refund you right away. He's like, there's no pool for your daughter. It's a 21 and over pool. You have to go to the Clevelander. And I was like, okay, no. I was like, but the thing my daughter is the most excited about on this trip is to go to the pool. So the other hotel in the neighborhood that I'd seen was the Good Time Hotel, the Pharrell Hotel, which I had seen all over Instagram. It's completely Instagram worthy, but I knew that the rooms were really small. That was the one thing. They didn't have any of the king size rooms left. They only had the queen rooms, which I think was like 150 or 200 square feet. And I was like, how are we gonna be 2 people in a tiny room like that? I love Luca, but I hate sleeping with her. I love the having 2 beds situation. And, but I was like, you know what? The hotel looks so cute. I don't really care. Let's just book it. So we booked it. It was surprisingly affordable as well. I think it was $500 or $600 more than the Essex house, but in my opinion, very, very, very much worth the increase in price. The pool on its own, to be honest, was epic. It was incredible. We were so happy. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do, because I did like daily little recaps of everywhere we went, every restaurant we went to. I tagged the restaurants. I showed what we ate. I kind of talked about a little bit what it was that we did that day. So if you guys are looking for restaurant recommendations, he did like the whole range of things. Like we went from like mom and pop, like Cuban restaurant, Colombian restaurant. We did the bubblegum shrimp route because Luca wanted to try it when we went to Bayside Marketplace. And then we also did like the chicconis and the katsuyas of the world. Like we did like a big array of things. So again, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I highly recommend that you go and you just check out my reels, because I think you'll get a good idea of like what it was that we did there and what we recommend. Now, in terms of hotel, highly, highly recommend the Good Times. Not just because it's aesthetically pleasing, which it absolutely is. So if you're a content creator and you need to go there, it is incredibly aesthetically friendly, which makes your job a lot easier, to be honest. I still wanted to post daily fashion pics, but I didn't want to disrupt my vacation with my daughter. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, you probably noticed there were barely any stories, which is not the norm for me. I really wanted to focus on us, but it was very easy staying at the hotel, just like literally like popping into my room, getting my tripod, literally setting it on a timer, 2-3 shots, done, back to the room, back to having fun. So I was really able to just like keep the content going at the same time of having a trip without really disrupting my daughter's day-to-day. She's honestly incredible. She literally can take the most incredible pictures in literally like 1, 2, 3 clicks. I show her the frame and she's just like click, click, click. I look, it's done. I edit once she's asleep and we're done. It's easy. It didn't take away. This hotel basically made it so easy to not take away from the focus on my daughter and the intent of the trip, which was for us to just have fun. I was a little concerned when I saw the pool at the Good Time that it was gonna be one of those like really grown up and bougie type of hotels that like would not be okay with my daughter. It turned out everyone was super cool. I mean, Luca is incredibly well behaved too though. She's not one to like run around and jump. Like I told her, I said, Luca, this is not the type of pool where you're gonna be screaming, running and jumping. It's not like that. It's a pool where we're gonna be in the water, we're gonna play, but we're not splashing. You do not disrupt other people's vacations. And she was like, cool. She was like, absolutely, mommy, I get it. And we were practicing handstands and flips. And the way that it is, it's like 2 separate pools within the hotel. So like when I'd see one of the pools was getting a little bit too grown up, the one that was close to the bar, we would just switch pools and kind of like stick to our little area. And we didn't bother anyone. Nobody bothered us. It was really just fun. Another thing that was really great about this hotel is they have food service to the pool, bar service to the pool. We had like our little cabanas every day. We would just like get a bed and we were able to just like order our foods and drinks at the pool, which made it a lot easier too. The food was also really, really, really good at this hotel. I think one of the best meals we had was actually at the hotel for dinner. We went to, what's it called? Strawberry Moon, something like that. I had the branzino, Luca had the merguez. We had like this like flatbread with spinach thing as an antipasto. Then they didn't have dessert that Luca liked, so they actually went out to like their vending machines and got her like 3 chocolate bar options for her. Like they really went above and beyond. The video keeps like going out of focus. I hope it doesn't do this the whole video. I really do give the hotel like complete, I highly recommend. I'm always nervous when it's like an Instagram kind of gimmick thing. Like, is it gonna be like the worst customer service ever? But it was impeccable. And I have to say, the service overall in Miami, the people It's incredible. I love the people. I feel like I always kind of fall in love with the places that I travel to, but I really, 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 really fell in love with Miami. Like, I understand why so many of my friends have moved to Miami. I completely get it. I love the people. Also, there were so many Italians. I kept on like going places and I speak to Luca in Italian when we go out because it's kind of like our secret language. And it wasn't so secret in Miami because everybody spoke Italian. Like, I had a guy from Colombia at a store speaking to me in like literally fluent Italian, and he was like, oh, I studied in Milan and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, this is amazing. Like, I really felt at home. We spent, I'd say, 70% of our days at the pool because Luca has now just learned how to swim without her bubble, which this is her bubble for those of you who it's like straps around her waist. She's been taking private swimming lessons all summer and she felt confident enough to take off the bubble. The pool was really shallow, which I loved. It was only 3'6" deep, like for half of the pool. So I was confident, take off your bubble, have fun. We did flips. She learned how to do handstands, back flips, front flips. So like she has a swimming lesson on Thursday and I'm like, we need to switch gears. She's like learning the crawl and like the breaststroke time right now. This trip was incredible for like just like her development skills. We went to the beach, but it was really, really wavy and it was making me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a good swimmer, but I don't know that I'm a good enough swimmer to have to save Luca, and it was making me really nervous. So it was like, okay, no, let's stick to the pool. We went for like walks on the beach. We did like the water and the swimming the first day, but then that was it. I was like, nah, man. And yeah, I think the pool was a better fit for us. So we just had, honestly, overall, I think we ended up having more fun in Miami than we would have had in Spain. One thing that I realized is I don't know that Luca, in terms of walking, is ready for a European trip, especially not the way I do Europe. Like, I walk a lot. I'm a huge walker, and in Europe I love to discover, which I know Luca loves to discover as well, but I don't think she would have had the stamina to like do a Barcelona yet. The most she would walk when we were in Miami was maybe a mile. She was being a good sport about it. Like, we'd have to stop for drinks along the way to just kind of like make her forget, because she'd be like, I'm bored, I'm fed up of walking. But at the same time, we were like on Ocean Drive, we were on Collins, like I wanted to see what was around. So I think it actually worked in our favor that we went to Miami instead of going to Barcelona and Mallorca. We have a crap load of credits though for Barcelona and Mallorca, so we're gonna have to book this because I think we have a year to use them. So we definitely need to rebook a trip. We have a massive Air Canada credit also. We got our hotel. We were staying in Barcelona at the Barcelo Raval for 3 nights. We lost 2 nights. We only got 1 night credited. In Mallorca, we were staying at the Meliá South Beach. I think we lost 2 nights out of the 7 nighs. And in terms of flight, we lost the whole flight. Well, I mean, lost. We got credits with Air Canada, and we lost our flight with Vueling to get to Mallorca. So that's also a credit. So we have like maybe like 3-4 grand in credits right now that, yeah, we'll need to plan something else because yeah. I didn't let that get to us though. I just really wanted to focus on having the best trip in Miami. Okay, so now that I kind of recapped the overall of our trip, let me show you guys a few pieces that I picked up. They are a little wrinkled just because they were in my suitcase and I just unpacked this second, but there's not much. So let me show you. As you guys know, I traveled with a carry-on, so it limited my shopping, but to be honest, I don't actually enjoy shopping. Shopping for me is actually something I like doing online, which by the way, I have my promo code for Farfetch is still working. I just thought of that because I bought something this morning. 10 Soldera for 10% off most items. Yeah, so that'll be a haul coming up soon because I just bought something this morning. But yeah, I'm a big online shopper. I am not much of a in-person shopping. It quite annoys me, to be quite honest, to try on clothes. I'm pretty much a size small across the board. It's just a lot easier doing it that way. But we did buy a few things, so I wanted to show you guys. So as I was shopping with Luca, I obviously implicated her in my decision making of what to buy, and there was this one store where she fell completely in love with all the dresses. It was called Dolce Vita, and it was an Italian man who owned the store from Milan. So if you guys are in Miami, I highly recommend going and check it out because he had some really like hidden gems that like to me looked like Zimmerman pieces for like 80 bucks. I did get one that's like a Britney Spears video dress that was like $150 or $175, but like worth it. Very much worth it. Oh, the first dress I picked up is this one here, which doesn't look like much like this, but let me insert a picture so you can see what it looks like. It is cut out everywhere. The store owner was like, oh, this is like a really great casual dress. You can just throw it on with sneakers. And Luca was just listening to him talking. She's like, Mommy, I don't know what he's talking about, but you're gonna look so pretty in this dress. I'm gonna take you out to a beautiful dinner where you can wear a beautiful dress. So that's the night that we went to Spiga, and she's like found the spot where she wanted to take the picture. She's like, it looks so pretty with the flowers. And she literally was like a 5-shot Luca, like click, 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 done, we're good. The picture turned out amazing. And it's all thanks to Luca and picking this beautiful dress. The next dress is really special. I literally have no idea where I'm wearing this, why I bought it, but I fell completely in love with it and I felt compelled to buy it. I legit want to go back to Miami on a date because I feel like this is such a good date in Miami, or a 40th birthday dress. This is it. It has crystals. It is like a naked bodysuit. There are feathers at the bottom. This dress is literally the most incredible dress I've ever seen in my life. I tried it on in the store and recorded, but it was like a red light. Did not do it justice. This dress is amazing. I'm gonna insert what it looks like here, and I think it was $159. This dress to me is such a showpiece. The last item I picked up is this jacket from Zara. I personally loved it. Luca thought it was hideous. I bought it in size large because I obviously wanted it oversized. I bought it to go over a dress that was very, very, very short and very, very really revealing, and I needed to downplay it, and Luca was not down with the downplay. Luca was like, the dress is beautiful. You should just wear it. But we were walking around, I think it was Lincoln, what's it called? Lincoln Mall? Whatever. It's like a street where it's like, I thought it was gonna be fancy for some reason. Was not. And I looked really overdressed. And like Luca was like, you look so beautiful. Like my daughter is my biggest hype woman. And I bought this jacket to go over top. I didn't actually need this jacket, but I bought it out of like, oof, I'm showing a lot of leg and a lot of boobies for a very casual spot. So yeah, so that is pretty much sums up what happened in Miami, what we did, how much fun we had. I highly recommend Miami. I have not gone to Miami like probably since I was like a teenager, because we used to go all the time when I was a kid, and I haven't done it since I started traveling on my own, and I highly recommend it. I loved Miami. I loved the people. I loved everything about it. I wish we could live there. And yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say about South Beach and our incredible vacation that we ended up having. I hope you guys enjoyed this little recap and the little clips. I apologize I didn't vlog over there, but to be honest, I didn't want to. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say besides I love you so, so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys. Mwah.